Ladies and gentlemen, g'day, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, it's me, it's Economics, mate. You're seeing me in my face right now, or you're seeing my face right now. I want to try and test out something new, see whether or not this format may work or not. I just finished work, so yeah, I'm in my car, as per usual. We're going to be talking about these tanks right here. The ones that are in the auction right now. So, without further ado, let us get right into the video. Let's talk about the Kampfpanzer 50T. Well, actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about the fact that some of these tanks are a little bit overpriced, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. The Kampfpanzer 50T, again, is a really nice T10 tank. But for 22,500 gold, it's a bit of a stretch. I would definitely wait for this thing to be a bit cheaper before you go ahead and spend some gold on it. The T55A, again, 11,000 gold. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic medium tank, especially after getting PBR and having a bit of a buff. But boy, oh boy, is it a bit expensive at 11,000 gold. I would wait for this thing to be as cheap as possible before you go ahead and purchase this tank. Now, the Progetto 46, a very nice medium tank at tier 8. Again, for 9,500 gold, it's a bit of a stretch. It is a bit of a stretch. Yeah, let's be real here. It is a bit of a stretch. Now, let's go talk about the Kampfpanzer 50T, because I feel like the Kampfpanzer 50T deserves more respect than it, than it usually gets. I know GrandMcLegend absolutely loves this tank and has asked me multiple times to review the bloody tank and use his replay, but yeah. That will come. The time will come when I do that. But for now, let's just keep it as it is. The Kampfpanzer 50T, a great tank in its own right. It is a fantastic medium tank. It's got 248 mils on the front of the turret, 129 on the 120 on the side, 70 on the rear. You got 120 mils on the front of the hull. It is a little bit in a pike nose situation, so you do need to worry, or you need to worry a little bit when you're over angling just a bit, but it's got a decent amount of armor. It's very much like a armored Leopard 1, but with less of the Leopard's accuracy and mobility. The Leopard 1 is a fantastic medium tank. For all intents and purposes, plays like a light tank. Because, it kind of is, but it isn't. But this thing is got a more of a medium tank armor profile than you may think. Let's scroll down and have a look at the DPM. 3,420 DPM. That's a pretty good amount of DPM for a T10 medium tank. 5.61 second reload. Very nice indeed. You're doing 261 mils of penetration on your standing rounds. On your heat, you're doing 330. And of course, 54 on your high explosive round. Let me just reposition myself like that so, I could see my camera a bit better. 320 alpha damage per shot, not bad. It's actually pretty good. It's on par with the Leopard 1, but I believe the Leopard 1 does 350 alpha instead. You do 400 on your HE if you pen, which is not bad. 3.4 second aim time. Pretty good in terms of accuracy, but not as good as the Leopard 1. Now, gun handling, 0.308 dispersion. Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty good, but it's nothing to scream home about. The E50M and the Leopard 1 are so much better when it comes to accuracy and gun handling. It's unbelievable how good they are. It does have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is nice, and 17 degrees of gun elevation. And again, 8 degrees is it's not incredible, it's not amazing, but it's pretty good. I think it's the same amount of gun depression as an E50M. So you know how cooked the E50M is. Even in this meta, it's still freaking cooked. 60 kilometers per hour top speed though. Pretty nippy. It's pretty zippy. It goes pretty damn well. It's got decent terrain resistance stats as well. So yeah, 60 kilometers per hour. It's pretty good. As I said, the Kampfpanzer 50T is a really nice tank. But again, I wouldn't recommend purchasing this thing at the price it's at right now at 22,500 gold. Wait for this thing to be as cheap as possible. I reckon it's probably going to get towards the 15,000 gold mark, possibly 16,000. At that price, I'd say it's pretty worth it. The only reason why it's more expensive than some of the other T10 tanks because it's not sold as often as the other T10 tanks. So that's probably the reason why. But again, sometimes when these tanks do come on offer, they do come with a bunch of other stuff as well. So kind of doesn't make sense. Now, the T54A, a great tank, a great medium tank, a tank that I regretfully sold a little bit ago, so that's on me to cure my gambling addiction. But just have a look how good this thing is after the PBR. Like, it's just such a good-looking tank. My only concern with the T55A is that they made it a hybridnation tank, when technically speaking, it's not really a hybridnation tank. If anything, I believe it's a German variant of the T54. I could be wrong. I mean, probably that's what they're trying to get at by obviously creating the T55A in Blitz. Or they could have just made it a Soviet premium or collector medium tank at T9. I don't understand why they made it a hybridnation tank. Like, anyway, for all intents and purposes, it's a T54 that's a bit different, that looks better, and plays slightly different to the T54. You do have 224 mils on the front of the turret, which is very nice. Again, it's a sexy looking tank. Don't get me wrong. This is chef's kiss right there, mate. 200 mils on the sides and 160 on the rear of the turret. So very well armored turret. 118 mils on the front of the hull. So again, very similar to the T54. I believe the T54 has more armor on the front of the hull. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you can bounce some shots, especially if you angle and you angle at quite of an aggressive angle. 2700 DPM though. It's good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. It's on par with the T54. 6.71 second reload, 219 mils of AP pen. Heat is 270, so I'd probably recommend running this thing with calibrated shells, especially against T10 tanks, because you're going to struggle penetrating those T10 tanks, especially those heavy and medium tanks. Surprise, surprise, it's difficult to pen some of these medium tanks at T10, especially with the armor profile that they have. You got 310 alpha, so again, on par with the T54. 260 on your heat and 420 on your HE if you manage to pen. 4.2 second aim time. Accuracy is okay. It's not amazing. It's okay, but you can obviously run this thing with gun laying drive, which I would recommend. And 0.336 dispersion, so gun handling is pretty good. It's not bad. But I believe the T54 has a second gun that is more accurate than the standard gun that leads to the T62A. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the case. So again, very similar to T54, but it's slightly different. It's only 6 degrees of gun depression though, so you are going to struggle a bit. Again, very similar to the T62A that only has, I believe, 6 degrees of gun depression. At one point, it had like 5 degrees, and then they made it 6 or 7 degrees. I don't know. Correct me in the comments down below, guys. I haven't played the T62A in a very long time, but needless to say, this has 6 degrees. It's doable. It's okay. It's not bad, but again, it is a Russian medium tank, so it's not going to have a lot of gun depression. You do go 56 kilometers per hour, which is very, very nice. So maneuverability is really nice on this tank. So I wouldn't say it's sluggish in any retrospect. It's pretty damn quick. It's pretty good. Now, in terms of the value, I would say it's, it's pretty good value. Not at 11,000K though. 11,000 gold. I would recommend waiting for this thing to be the cheapest possible price, because they've sold this thing many, many times, and then purchase it. That would be my recommendation. And then if you can get this thing under 8,000 gold, Bob's your uncle, mate. Go for it. Go for gold. Literally, go for gold, because it is very much worth it at that price. Now, the Progetto 46, how much gold is it for? 9,500 gold. They've sold the Progetto many, many times now. I wouldn't recommend spending 9,500 gold on something that you can purchase for less gold, okay? My recommendation for this tank would be to wait for it to be the cheapest possible price and then go ahead and purchase it. That would be my recommendation. Otherwise, the Progetto is a beautiful tank. Absolutely stunning tank. Stunning medium tank at tier 8. Great tank to play. Very fun. It doesn't have a lot of armor. You can get some bounces, but I mean, it's unlikely that you will. You've only got 60 mils on the front of the hull, only 80 mils on the front of the turret, which means you will be penned by literally everything and anyone in your turret at tier 8, especially at tier 9. You're going to get smacked. Seriously. So you need to play this thing as a second line support medium tank. Get to spotting, get to peekabooming. Do not brawl in this tank, because you do not have the armor profile to brawl in a tank like this, nor do you have the hit points. You only got 1,400 hit points, so do keep that in mind. You do have 2,100 DPM, which again, for an auto reloader, is pretty damn good. You have a 2.5 second intra-crip reload between the shells. As you can see, if you just fire the first shell only, it's only going to take 5.27 seconds to reload that first shell. So if you only use your first shell, it's going to take 5.27 seconds to reload, and you should have max DPM at that at that level. You got 3 shells in your magazine. There's no reserve shell, which is fantastic because so many people don't know how to use a reserve shell. It's honestly embarrassing. You have 180 mils on 180 mils of pen on your AP. On your APCR, you got 259, which is actually pretty good for a tier 8 medium tank, and 45 on your HE. So you're not going to pen that much with the HE, but you might get lucky with something that has barely any armor, and you get your 3 shots off. You're doing 240 alpha per shot, which again is very nice. Times that by 3, you're doing roughly around 700 damage, which is very nice. 720 damage for 3 shells. Very, very nice indeed. You're doing 270 on your HE. Again, not many people are going to pen with your HE, but there you go. 3.4 second aim time. So it's decently accurate. It's pretty good. And 0.336 dispersion. So gun handling is pretty good as well. And it's got 9 degrees of gun depression, which is very, very nice because it means you can peekaboo on a ridgeline. And it goes 55 kilometers per hour. So again, overall, this tank is a very nicely balanced tank. It's got a lot of things going for it. It doesn't have any armor, but everything else about the tank is very, very nice. And yes, I would recommend purchasing this thing when it is cheaper. Not at the price it is right now. It is quite expensive for a tier 8 premium. Just wait for this thing to be as cheap as possible before you go ahead and purchase it. That would be my recommendations, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of these tanks and if you're going to purchase them or not. Otherwise, look after yourselves, look after your friends and family, and peace in the Middle East and everywhere else in this beautiful dang world. And yeah, love you all, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Let me know how you think about this video format with me ugly face on the camera. I just thought I'd try something different. All right, peace out, guys.